for the Spartans is going to be number 19, Garrett Springer. First pitch is low and away, ball one. Really good crowd on hand for first round of state baseball. Really nice student section for each side as this one's hit well into center field. It's going to be down for a hit, going towards the right center gap. It's going to get there as Pfeiffer rounds first. He's headed for second, looks towards his third base coach, and he says, hold up there. But Millard North has a one-out double off the bat of, number 13, Trenton Pfeiffer. And so Pfeiffer with a one-out double, that brings up the three-hole hitter. Number 15, Chase Mockel, the junior. Middle infielder, hitting .278 this season. No home runs, but 10 runs driven in for Mockel. So Mick, the lefty, surrenders the one-out double, and that's the Mustangs' first hit of the day. Mick comes set from the stretch, looks back to Pfeiffer twice at second, lifts the leg and fires home. This one fouled away. It knocked off the chest protector of Garrett Springer behind the plate. Foul ball, 0-1. So just underway here in the Class A state baseball tournament. There's also a game going on over at Tal Anderson Field between the Millard West Wildcats and Elkhorn South Storm. The Millard West Wildcats was the team that the Spartans defeated in last year's state title. Second pitch on the way. It's an off-speed breaker in there for the second strike of the at-bat, 0-2. When you look at the Spartans and the Millard West Wildcats that we'll talk about in a couple of days, future Division I talent scattered throughout the entire field as the 0-2 delivery is just up and away. Went with the fastball on the 0-2 count, and it's a ball, 1-2. Mockel, the hitter, getting the start at second base today for the Millard North Mustangs, hitting third in the Mustangs lineup. 1 ball, 2 strikes after the one-out double by Pfeiffer, who stands at second. He takes his lead. Mick comes set, doesn't look back to second. Fastball on the corner is just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mockel started to make his way back to the first base dugout as he thought he was going to get rung up on that one, but ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here, 1 out in the top of the first inning. So Mick comes set. Looks back to Pfeiffer at second, looks back again, and he'll step off the rubber, forcing Pfeiffer to retreat to second base without a throw. Fans still filing in here at Warner Park, the home of the Omaha Storm Chasers, as Mick comes set, looks back once, fires home on the 2-2 pitch. It's barely ticked fouled off the bat of number 15, Chase Mockel, but he stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Mick, 7-0 on the year, comes set, 2-2 pitch. Up and away, ball 3. So now we have a full count here with 1 out. After the 1-out double by Pfeiffer. And now Chase Mockel, who is down 0-2, has worked it all the way to 3-2. The payoff pitch here from Carter Mick. Swung on, it's skied high to the right side of Vasco, giving it a look, but this one will hit the seats before bouncing back into the field of play. But we'll do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes. So regardless of the outcome here, Chase Mockel has been able to see quite a few pitches off of the left-hander, Carter Mick. Comes set, 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, fouled off again, and we'll do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Just a few clouds in the sky up here at Warner Park. Just off the left side of the third base line. Lincoln East occupying the third base home dugout, while Millard North in the first base visiting team dugout. Spartans, defending state champions, won their first state title in school history. Mick delivers. This one fired on. It's going to be down for a hit down the left field line. As Pfeiffer will round third, he'll score easily. It's misplayed by the left fielder, and Mockel, after an incredible at-bat, he delivers with a 1-out RBI double, And Millard North, the 8 seed, has an early 1-0 lead over the Lincoln East Spartans. That is going to be Mockel's 11th RBI on the campaign. The second hit of the day for the Millard North squad. And here comes the cleanup hitter, number 17, Ripken Fleck. Fleck starting at shortstop today defensively for the Mustangs. Mick delivers. This one going to try to be bunted, and it's fouled off, 0-1. Ripken Fleck on the season, a junior hitting .292, one long ball, 11 RBIs for Ripken Fleck. 65 at-bats this season. 1-0 early lead for Millard North. After a one-out double by Pfeiffer and then a swapping places by Chase Mockel. Mick delivers. The 0-1 pitch, low for a ball, 1-1. If you're in that first base dugout for Millard North, you couldn't be happier with how this one started. Forcing Carter Mick to throw quite a few pitches. That was a 8-pitch at bat from Chase Mockel that resulted in that RBI double. The 1-1 pitch fouled back to the screen, 1-2. Carter Mick, 7-0 on the season. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Millard North leads 1-0 over Lincoln East. The pitch, just off the outside corner, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. In the top half of the first frame, Millard North students standing behind the first base dugout that's occupied by the Mustangs. But there's about 5 rows deep of them, and they're all standing on their feet. The 2-2 delivery from Carter Mick. Swung on and missed, strikeout as he gets Ripken Fleck down swinging for out number 2. And that brings up number 22, Alex McCod. McCod getting the start at first base today, hitting 5th in the Mustangs lineup. They call him Zan Zan. And so we'll reference him a few times, I'm sure, as Zan Zan. Zan Zan McCod, rocking number 22 for the Mustangs, hitting .275 on the season. So 2 outs with a man on second base as Mockel stands and leads off right behind the pitcher's mound. Mick delivers on the 0-0 pitch, low and inside for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 Millard North, the 8 seed, coming in 11-17 on the year. Lincoln East 29-1. Their lone loss came to Millard South, who we'll see around 11:30 a.m. this morning. The 1-0 pitch from Carter Mick. It bounces in front of the plate. Nice stop there with the body by Garrett Springer to keep it in front of him, and Mockel at second base, and so it's 2 balls and no strikes. Here to the 5-hole, Zan Zan McCod. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs here, top of the first inning. 1 run on the board so far for Millard North, 2 hits. Mick delivers the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Hardy cut there by McCod. But he fans it, so 2 balls, 1 strike now, as Mick got a much-needed strike in this AB. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the first inning here from Warner Park. Carter Mick comes set, the lefty out of the stretch. Fires home, and it's in there for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Home plate umpire was uncertain whether or not he wanted to call that one a strike or a ball. It looked a little low in the zone. Garrett Springer had to go down and get that one. Not necessarily drop into a knee, but a nice strong forearm from Garrett Springer got that one to be a strike. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Top of the first inning. Mick delivers, swung on and fouled off to the right side as McCod hit it off the hands. But he'll force Carter Mick to throw another one here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCod, your starting first baseman in the field for Millard North. Mockel still stands at second base after trading places with Trenton Pfeiffer on an RBI double. Mick comes set, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high to right field. Under it is the right fielder, and he hauls it in for out number 3. But Millard North cracks the scoreline first as on an RBI double from Cade McCall. Scores Pfeiffer from second base, and the Mustangs lead 1-0 here at Warner Park. We get our first look at the Lincoln East Spartans when we return in the bottom half of the first inning. You're listening to State Baseball on 93.7 The Ticket.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Nick Sainer back with you from Warner Park. It's our first look at the Lincoln East Spartans here today as they trail 1-0 to the 8th seed Millard North Mustangs. On the mound for the Mustangs is going to be number 24, Carson Obrecht. 3-3 on the year, 3.57 earned run average. And stepping into the box from the right side of the plate is Jeter Worthley, the second baseman, rocking number 42 for head coach Michael Lanick. He takes ball 1 up and in, 1-0. Worthley, a future Michigan Wolverine. As Obrecht, out of the windup, fires the 1-0 pitch. It's an off-speed pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. We might see a lot of that working backwards in the count if you're Carson Obrecht, especially against the Spartans lineup. Another breaker. This one just misses off the inside half. 2 balls, 1 strike. Worthley had himself quite the state tournament last year, as did the entire Spartans squad. Obrecht's 2-1, hit up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Jeter Worthley as the Spartans send one guy up to the plate, and it's a base knock. So Worthley will occupy first base, and that brings up number 1, the third baseman, Kai Berkey. Berkey, the senior, hitting .387, 1 home run, 17 runs driven in. Worthley, as we mentioned earlier on the show with AD Raf Rico, was whenever he's on the base paths, that's something that the starter on the mound has to worry about, is Worthley getting a deep lead at first base. This one fouled off on a bunt attempt, 0-1. Worthley, one of the more athletic guys on this team, takes 3 steps and then extends his lead a little bit further, looking back to first base. Quick pick over, and Worthley back in plenty of time. Obrecht just letting him know that he's keeping an eye on him. So the 0-1 pitch here to Kai Berkey as Obrecht comes set. No steal, but Berkey can't get the bunt down as he fouls that one off again. It's 0 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Millard North leads 1-0. Worthley with a base hit up center field. And now Kai Berkey trying to move him over. No balls, 2 strikes. He'll swing away. This one's fouled off to the right side down the first base line. We'll do it again at 0-2. So the way that the Spartans operate, they're all wearing wristbands, similar to a lot of other teams. And Coach Lanik down third base is Worthley. Looks like he is halfway to second base, but is not, as this one's fouled off to the right side as well. But as I was saying, they all wear wristbands, all same wristbands with numbers on the left wrist. And Coach Lanik down at third base shouts out a sequence of numbers. They all look down in sync to their wrist and figure out what Coach Lanik wants them to do. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Worthley extending his lead off of first base. Obrecht comes set, fires away, and it's strike 3 on the outside corner. Kai Berkey unable to lay the bunt down and then watches strike 3 across the plate for out number 1. A good bounce back there by Chase Obrecht as he gets his first strikeout and the first out of the bottom of the first. So now that brings up AJ Avasco, the first baseman. Avasco, 212 on the season, 8 home runs, 52 RBIs for the future K-State Wildcat. Worthley wouldn't be surprised to see him in motion here, try to get him into scoring position for hitters 3 and 4, Avasco and Springer. But Avasco from the left side of the batter's box. Obrecht comes set, fires away. This one swung on. It's bounced to the second baseman. Can't get the backhand to go, and it goes into center field. Going to third is Worthley, and a throw into home plate as it was misplayed at second base by McCall. McCall, as Worthley was sprinting to second base, tried to backhand it, unable to even get a glove under it. As it goes underneath his glove and into right center field, I would imagine that that's going to be labeled as an error. And then Worthley advanced to third on the error from the second baseman. So in some interesting situations here, kind of a unique first inning. Berkey unable to get the bunt down. However, Avasco with a routine ground ball to second base as this one's hit well to left center field. Springer keeps going back, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Springer around first. Worthley will score easily. Avasco will score standing up, and it's a 2-run double for Garrett Springer as that one hopped the fence in left center field, and the Spartans jump on Carson Obrecht early, and they take a 2-1 lead. So Avasco comes around from first. Worthley scores from third. And as they always say, folks, it's not the hits. You can weather the hits, and you'll hear me say this a lot over the course of the next 7 days. You can weather the hits. It's the errors, the walks and the errors. That's only a 1-run double if McCall is able to play that ball at second base. But ultimately enough, because of the error, Springer able to give the Spartans the lead on an RBI double. 2 RBI double for Garrett Springer. Brings up Troy Peltz, number 27, the left fielder from the left side of the batter's box as he takes ball 1 outside, 1-0. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Millard North tacked a run on in the top of the first. They led at 1-0. Now the Spartans off of one swing of the bat from Garrett Springer on a 2 RBI double take a 2-1 lead. 1 ball, no strikes, the delivery to Troy Peltz. And it's up and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Game 1 of 2 on the day for us here on the ticket. As Obrecht really taking his time on the mound. Obrecht comes set, the right-handed hurler, looks back twice to Springer at second base and fires. This one, an off-speed pitch, fouled back. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's always fascinating, especially at this level, to see if teams can disrupt the timing pattern routine of a pitcher. Because you have to somewhat play a little bit of a mind game as the 2-1 pitch way outside for a ball, 3 balls, 1 strike. And what I mean by that is if you're a pitcher, and we saw it from Carter Mick in the first inning, where he wanted to get right back on the rubber and get rolling. Hits obviously disrupt that, errors disrupt that, runs certainly cause some issues. But Obrecht now in this at-bat to Troy Peltz has stepped off the rubber 3 times. Just doesn't look comfortable on the Warner Park rubber. Obrecht comes set, and he fires away. Off-speed pitch is going to be hit into shallow left field. Shortstop ranging over, and a nice catch there made by the shortstop, number 17, Ripken Fleck, for out number 2. So Peltz flies out to the shortstop in shallow center field. Sure, if you would have asked Coach for the Millard North Mustangs, Bob Lavach, you would have said, all right, if you're the left fielder, you're coming in, your momentum's taking you that way. That's probably your baseball, but nice job by the shortstop Fleck, running until he was called off, which ultimately he never was, and retired Peltz for out number 2. Brings up Owen Lessig. Lessig takes the 0-0 pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. Lessig, the starting right fielder for Lincoln East, on the season hitting .323, 22 runs driven in, and there's a possible run out there at second base. And this one's roped into right field. It's a diving catch by the right fielder, Hansen. Nice catch there by Evan Hansen. The senior saves a run from coming in, but that will do it for the bottom of the first. The Spartans take the lead. They lead it 2-1 over Millard North. We'll come back with the top of the second inning from Warner Park right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
So after 1 inning of play, it's 2-1 Lincoln East with a 1-run advantage over Millard North. 2 hits apiece for each squad. Carter Mick takes the mound once again. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Mustangs of Millard North. Starting us off will be number 16, Marcus Hankins, as this one's hit well to the second baseman, fielded cleanly by Worthley and thrown over to Avasco for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out, which is the exact same way that Carter Mick started the first inning. 4-3 on the putout for out number 1. And that brings up number 1, Ben Peters. Peters, 241 hitter on the season. 58 at-bats for the senior infielder. First pitch, the at-bat is a strike, 0-1. Mick, the left-handed thrower. Ben Peters hitting from the right side. As this one fires away, shows bunt, takes it for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. As he pulled back, almost hit him in the right leg, but was able to jump out of the way. Really nice crowd on hand. Compared to last year's, where I understand travel, weather was different last year, as Peters squares once again can't get a strike thrown to him to lay one down, so it's 2 balls, 1 strike. But last year, our opening game was Millard West and Grand Island. Very few fans that game, as this one's hit well into right field. It's going to be down for a base knock, as it's fielded on the 1-hop by Lessig. And we have a 1-out single off the bat of Ben Peters. So that brings up number 2, a senior outfielder, Jay Tweet, 317 on the season, 1 long ball, 12 runs driven in for Tweet. Still getting the start in left field today, wearing number 2. So now Mick will have to work out of the stretch. Left-handed pitcher delivers, and it's an off-speed pitch that froze Tweet for a strike. Oh, no balls, 1 strike. 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Lincoln East leads 2-1 after a 2 RBI double off the bat of Garrett Springer in the bottom of the first. Pick over to first as Peters is back in plenty of time. That was the 3rd hit of the day for the Millard North Mustangs off of the undefeated 7-0 Carter Mick. No balls, 1 strike. Mick fires, swung on, it's fouled. It was caught. So we have a little bit of discrepancy because on this pitch, Tweet swung and ticked it, but Springer caught it. On the pitch, the runner advanced to second as a stolen base. Now the discrepancy is they're allowing Peters to stay at second base for the time being. Michael Lana came out, talked to the home plate umpire, and because it was a designated foul ball, they're going to force Peters to go back to first base after a quick conversation. Lavage, the manager, is having that conversation now with the home plate umpire as Peter trots back to first base. So Coach Lanick's argument for Lincoln East is that you called it a foul ball, and it doesn't matter if the guy catches it or if he doesn't catch it off the tip, that it's a foul ball and therefore no stolen bases allowed. But Bob Lavage's argument is that the guy caught it, but they forced Peters back to first base. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here to Jay Tweet. Mick taking his time before coming set, now does. Comes set looking over at first base. Hopping back and forth is Peters. This one off the outside part of the plate. Ball 1. This is now 3 times in this at-bat where if you're Carter Mick, you think you keep going back to that off-speed pitch because they've gotten Tweet to kind of fall out over the plate a couple of times, and now they go in with the hard stuff off the inside corner, and it's strike 3 looking for Jay Tweet as that is out number 2. Brings up the 9-hitter. Number 11, the starting right fielder, Evan Hansen. We saw Evan make a really nice diving catch to close out the bottom frame of the first inning. So Hansen here on the year, 333. Lefty on lefty matchup. Peters still stands at first base. The pitch is going to be off the glove of Avasco, and they're going to call it a foul ball. So the first base umpire, so it was a line drive down the first base line. Avasco looked as if he had 1 foot, he was straddling the foul line. It hit off of Avasco's glove, tailed foul, bounced foul off of the glove of Avasco. And the first base umpire called it a foul ball. Peters was off with the pitch, and he was going to score if they would have ended up calling that a fair ball. That would have tied the ball game. So no balls, 1 strike here to Evan Hansen. Voices are being raised a little bit down below me in the Millard North faithful, and this one a breaker off the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Evan Hansen. Hansen got a good swing on that one. Hit well down the first base line. Vasco, if he would have caught that one, ended the inning. Here's Mick as he picks over. Going to second base is Peters. Vasco throws the Senstock, and he's tagged out at second base. And so a nice job by Carter Mick getting out of the inning a unique way as that one closes out the top half of the second inning. They get our first 0 on the scoreboard. Hansen will lead things off in the third inning, but for now we go to the bottom of the second. For the Spartans, it'll be Senstock, Gaines, and McPeak when we return in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
So quite a interesting top half of the second inning. First of all, you had the controversial decision, call it whatever you want to diagnose it as, on the foul tip that was caught by the catcher, Garrett Springer. Lanik immediately came out to talk to the home plate umpire. Home plate umpire had a conversation with the guy at first base, and they forced the Peters, who ended up stealing that pitch, forced him back to first base after what they designated as a foul ball. Then the second one of that inning was where Avasco was straddling the first baseline. So part of his body was in fair territory, and it deflected off of his glove. And on that pitch, Peters was also off and running for Millard North, and he was halfway to third before the Spartans even picked it up. And so that could have potentially tied the game as well. But nonetheless, a 0 on the scoreboard. Nice job by Carter Mick getting out of that inning. And Senstock hits this one. Great diving stop at third base. Stands up, fires the first, and it's out number 1. An incredible play by the third baseman. Guess who? Ben Peters. As Peters says, you want to pick me off, you want to call me back from stealing second base, I'll just make a diving play and throw out the future Husker Joey Senstock at first base on the 5-3 putout for out number 1. That brings up the center fielder, Mason Gaines. Gaines wearing number 11, hitting exactly 300 on the season. The 1-0 pitch outside for a ball, 2-0. That ball was hit well, too, by Senstock. Pulled it down the third base line, and Peters just made a diving stop right in front of the third base bag and fired it over to first. 2-0 pitch is a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Mason Gaines getting the start in center field. 1 home run, 13 RBIs, and 70 at-bats for the Spartans. This one is fouled back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A good bounce back here by Carson Obrecht. Obrecht allowed those 2 runs off that RBI double from Garrett Springer. And the 2-2 pitch is outside for a ball, 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning from Warner Park. This one, a bouncer over to first base, fielded cleanly, tossed over the pitcher, covering. Obrecht almost trips over his own 2 feet, but he's able to step on the first base bag for out number 2. That goes 3-1 on the putout. So that brings up the 9-hitter in the Spartans lineup. The designated hitter today, the junior outfielder hitting .484, number 2, Carter McPeak. So once again, .484 and 31 at-bats. The designated hitter hitting 9th in the lineup. Obrecht working from the windup, fires away, and the first pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. 2 down in the bottom half of the second inning. 2-1, Lincoln East leads Millard North. 0-1 pitch on that outside corner. A nice spot by Obrecht, 0-2. So quickly, McPeak is down 0-2. He's getting ushered back to the batter's box as he tried to slow down Obrecht. The 0-2 pitch from Obrecht. Bouncer low and away, hit the dirt. Good stop behind the dish. It's a ball. 1-2. Great day at Warner Park. The entire seats area is covered by sun as this pitch goes outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Thankfully, I'm up here in the shade, up on the second level here at Warner. We even have folks sitting out in the left field bleachers. Really nice crowd here at Warner Park. Good student sections as well. Fires away. This one hit well down the right field line, and it's going to tail foul. And we'll do it again at 2-2. McPeak just a tad late on the fastball there. Late on the fastball, on time for everything else. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sequence here has been fastball, 2 off speed, and then a fastball right there as Obrecht fires. This one hit high, but it's going to hit the bleachers down the left field line just past the tarp and over the suite in shallow left field. And we'll redo it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I would imagine also that pretty soon here we'll see some Southwest faithful start to trickle into Warner. They have first pitch slated for a little after 11:30 a.m. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Obrecht fires away. It's strike 3 looking for Carter McPeak. And a really nice bounce back inning for Carson Obrecht as he gets the Spartans to go down in order on a ground out to another ground out and then a backwards K for out number 3. That'll do it for the second inning. We go to the top of the third. Due up for the Mustangs in the top half of the third inning. It'll be Hanson, Burrish, and Pfeiffer. When we return, they'll face Carter Mick on the mound still from Warner Park here in the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park in Omaha. A little bit of delay in action as a couple of Millard North players had to jog out to the center field bullpen. Obrecht with a nice bounce back there in inning number 2, forces the Spartans to go at 3 up, 3 down. And now it's Carter Mick's turn, back out there for his third inning of work. Hanson hitting from the left side. He was actually up to bat in that second inning when Peters got picked off by Carter Mick. So Hanson gets another crack at it here in the third inning. Fresh count, but he's quickly down. No balls, 2 strikes. So no balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top half of the third. This one swung on, skied high to right field. Camping under it is Lissig, and he hauls it in for out number 1. So we turn our attention to the top of the order, and that is number 9 for Millard North, Alex Burrish. 232 on the season. He grounded out to the first baseman of Vasco in the first inning. Saw just 1 pitch from Mick. This one he'll watch bounce into the left or right-handed batter's box rather for ball 1-0. Burrish, the lefty, facing the southpaw Carter Mick. Second pitch to the AB, similar spot, 2 balls, no strikes. Burrish with a little bit of an open stance at the plate. Watches strike 1 come across the heart of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Carter Mick quickly going back to work and fires away from the windup. Swung on and missed by Burrish. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out here. About 15 minutes till the top of the hour here at Warner Park. Carter Mick from the windup fires away, and that's strike 3 on the outside corner. Burrish yelling at himself or potentially the umpire on his way back to the dugout, as he may have disagreed with that call. But nonetheless, Carter Mick gets another backwards K for out number 2, and that brings up the designated hitter, Trenton Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer had the 1-out double back in the first inning, eventually scored as well. Pfeiffer watches this one outside, ball 1. Chase McCall is standing in the on-deck circle. He had the RBI double, just switched places with Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer watches a changeup on the 1-0 count go across the plate for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pfeiffer hitting from the right side, swings at a fastball up. May have gotten a piece of it, but nonetheless, strike 2. We've seen this before, especially from Carter Mick, and we'll see it from Paul Shortridge when we see him in the next couple of days from Lincoln East, is when they have a rhythm, they're pretty tough to hit against. As the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, and Carter Mick will trot off the mound after back-to-back strikeouts. So swinging strikeout this time around for Pfeiffer, and that'll do it for the Mustangs in the top half of the 3rd inning. In the bottom half, we will see the top of the order for the Lincoln East Spartans. It's Worthley, Berkey, and Avasco when we return in 30 seconds from Warner Park.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Carson Obrecht back out there for the Mustangs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Millard North right in this one. When these two teams played just a couple of weeks ago, Lincoln East had their way with the Mustangs, won 15-3. They've had some dominant victories, have the Spartans. You look at some of these. In their first 5 games of the season, they scored double-digit runs. It went 11, 11, 10, 14, 17, and 10. I mean, incredible. They have a game against Elkhorn North where they scored 21. They beat Grand Island 10-0. They beat North Star 13-1, Papio 13-5, Scott Catholic 17-5. I mean, some dominant victories. So if you're Millard North and you're sitting here at the bottom half of the 3rd inning down just 1 run, you feel pretty good about where you guys stand. As Worthley will lead things off here and watch an off-speed pitch float over the plate for a strike, 0-1. Carson Obrecht, the right-handed pitcher, working out of the windup. Fires home on the 0-1 pitch. Another off-speed pitch is going to be drilled into center field, and a diving catch. Can't hold on to it. Worthley sprinting around first. He'll now hold up an overthrow of second base, so Worthley would have been safe, but a hard-hit ball finds the green grass in center field as the center fielder for Millard North, Alex Burrish, unable to convert the diving catch, and Worthley will occupy first base. So they'll rule that as a single to center field for Jeter Worthley. That brings up Kai Berkey. Worthley extending his lead. Berkey squares his bunt, and he gets it down to the pitcher. Berkey sprinting down that first base line. Obrecht gets it to third. Nobody's covering third base, and Worthley is able to advance to third. Nobody was home as the third baseman, Peters, unable to cover third base, and a great job, great awareness by Jeter Worthley as he advances on the sac bunt. He goes first to third. So Berkey does his job this time around. Remember, last time he did not. And so this time around, Berkey does his job, advances Worthley, and he stands at third base with one of the best hitters in the Spartan lineup, A.J. Avasco, up at the plate. Avasco, 212 on the year, 8 home runs, 52 runs driven in. Vasco reached on an error last time up. This one fouled off. It's quickly 0-2 to the 3-hole. AJ Avasco. Avasco, the left-handed hitter, facing the righty arm of Obrecht. 2-1 Spartans here in the bottom of the third. The 0-2 pitch is just a tad outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out here after the sacrifice by Kai Berkey. Obrecht comes set, lifts the leg and fires off-speed pitch, drilled down the third base line, in between Lanik in the box and Worthley on the foul line. And so we'll do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 hits apiece for each side. 1 error for Millard North, and it came on that Avasco grounder back in the first inning. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. A great backdoor breaking ball off the arm of Obrecht gets Avasco walking back to the dugout, and that is a big out, number 2 for Millard North. That brings up number 19, the catcher, Garrett Springer. Springer, 447 on the year, 8 home runs, and 40 RBIs. Springer had that RBI double to left center field in the first inning. That drove in those 2 Spartans runs. 2 outs. First pitch of the AB is a fastball right down the heart of the plate for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Worthley standing on third base. The 0-1 pitch is upstairs for a ball, 1-1. You think about what Carson Obrecht's been able to do. He's been able to weather a couple of hits, had a nice second inning on a 3-up, 3-down. Now, if he can strand Worthley at third, you feel pretty good about it. 1-1 pitch from Obrecht. Swung on, hit off of the helmet of the catcher as it was fouled back by Springer. And that's a 1 ball, 2 strike count now with 2 outs. Obrecht looking in, gets the sign and comes set from Hankins behind the dish. The 1-2 pitch swung on, skied high. This could end the inning. The center fielder coming on, and he collects it for out number 3. That's a big opportunity lost by Lincoln East. They had a runner on third with 1 out. They're 3 and 4 hitters up, and they get nothing out of it. Great job by Carson Obrecht to get the stop. We go to the top half of the 4th inning. Your score, Spartans 2, Mustangs 1, right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Here in the top half of the 4th inning, it will be 3, 4, and 5 for Millard North, as it'll be Chase Mockel, who had a double in that first inning. But also, nice job by Millard North and Carson Obrecht getting out of the jam. They had Jeter Worthley on third base with 1 out, less than 2. That's the dream scenario if you're Coach Michael Lanik. You not only bunted the guy, sacrificed the guy over to second base, but because of just some lackadaisical defensive awareness from the third baseman, Ben Peters, nobody covered third, as the shortstop had to cover second, had to move on over. Second baseman had to cover first base, and as that kind of shift happens, just kind of lackadaisical defensively, and Jeter Worthley with some good base running was able to advance another 90 feet, but no harm, no foul, as Obrecht was able to retire hitters Avasco and Springer, hitters 3 and 4 in that Spartans lineup with a strikeout swinging and a fly out to center field. So now top half of the 4th inning, it's Mockel up. He had an RBI double in the first inning. This one's grounded to Senstock at short. He takes a couple steps and fires over to Avasco for the first out of the fourth inning. 1 pitch, 1 out for Carter Mick, who's been in a groove recently. Mick went 3 up, 3 down last inning, had a fly out and 2 strikeouts. That time that goes 6-3 on the putout for out number 1 here in the fourth. Brings up Ripken Fleck. Fleck struck out swinging his first time up. Mick fires away, and it's upstairs, ball 1. So the schedule, once again, Millard South and Lincoln Southwest to come around 11:30 today. Then that'll be it for high school baseball today, as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, 1-1. Tomorrow, we turn our attention to Class B action, the incredible story of Lincoln Northwest in their second season as a program. They're in the state tournament. This one swung on, fouled off to the right side, 1-2. They'll face off against number 1 seed Norris. Norris, after a questionable decision last year, they're trying to bounce back and win another state title. Swung on. This one fouled up right back over my head. If there was no covering here, I might have caught that one. Would have been pretty incredible. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll do it again. And then our second game of the day tomorrow will be the Waverly Vikings and the Beatrice Orangemen. This one swung on, grounded between the third baseman and shortstop. And we have a 1-out single off the bat of Ripken Fleck. So Fleck just pounds it right through the 5-6 hole in the infield, past a diving third baseman, number 1, Kai Berkey. And so Fleck will now occupy first base, and that brings up number 22, Zanzan Machad. Alex Machad, call him Zanzan. 2-1, Spartans lead. 1 out here in the top half of the fourth inning. Nick fires home, up and away, ball 1. Nobody warming up for either side in the bullpen. Millard North, quiet. They jogged a couple of guys out. Lincoln East, I see the players sitting down in that bullpen. Mick will pick over to first. Back in plenty of time standing up is Fleck. Fleck was bouncing back and forth. That's a risky thing if you get a little bit too far off the bag. Just because if Carter Mick can time it up perfectly where you're kind of pulling your momentum forward, you're going to be caught in no man's land. You got to watch if there's a lot of weight on that right foot of Fleck directing himself towards second base. Mick's picked off one guy. He did that to end the second inning. 1 ball, no strikes here to Machad. The delivery, and it's upstairs, ball 2. Springer had to turn around and ask the home plate umpire, where was that pitch? 2 balls, no strikes to Machad. He flew out to the right fielder to end the first inning. Mick comes set, and he'll pick over to first, and back in standing once again is Ripken Fleck. Two to 1 your score. Lincoln East put up a 2 spot in the first inning. Mustangs put up their lone run in that top half of the first as well. Mick on the 2-0 pitch, and it's outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Hankins, the catcher, is standing in the on-deck circle. We're currently sitting at the 5th hitter in the Mustang lineup. Machad, 3-0 pitch, and it's right down the middle for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike as Machad was taking all the way. Crowd has only strengthened here as Lincoln Southwest students have started to file in, and they file in behind the Spartan student section. This one pounded through the right side, and it's going to be into right field for a hit. Advancing to third, the throw from the right fielder is just off target, and a head-first slide by Fleck into third base. And Millard North has runners on the corner with 1 out as Hankins, Machad pounds that 3-1 pitch into right field on a hard ground ball for a 1-out single. So once again, that brings up Marcus Hankins, hitting .333 on the year. Coach Lanik is going to come out and speak to his pitcher and entire infield. Still no action in that bullpen. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to State Baseball on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
So after a Ripken flex single through the 5-6 hole, Machad pounds one into right field for a one-out single, and Fleck able to advance on the base hit. So he gets an extra 90 feet, goes first to third. And so currently, as Hankins steps into the box, runners on the corners for Millard North. Hankins, 333 on the year, just 6 RBIs for the Mustangs. Mick, the southpaw, fires home. Swung on, missed. Throw down to second base. They're going to throw into second base. The run will score. It goes into center field. In the third is Machad. And so Machad swipes second. He would have been safe. It was a very inaccurate throw from Springer behind the plate. It bounced into center field as Worthley was unable to grab it. And advancing to third was Machad. And so it'll go as a stolen base. He will advance to third on the air by Springer. Fleck scores on the throw. And so with one out, we have a tie ball game 2-2 and a runner on third base. That was a swinging strike to Hankins. The pitch from Mick, way outside, 1-1 strike. Mustangs are out hitting the Spartans 5-3. Feels like a lot of the momentum, especially with the way Obrecht's been pitching, is in favor of Millard North right now. Another ball on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hankins. Machad stands at third with just 1 out of play. This one swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Hankins in the right-handed batter's box swings. This one fouled off to the right side. And in this situation especially, this is something that when we talk about last inning with Lincoln East as well, missed opportunity with Worthley at third base with 1 out. Here's Millard North. Hit something to the right side. Get something to the second baseman, first baseman. Surrender your AB for another run. This one swung hard, and it's going to be deep fly ball to center field. Plenty deep enough to score. The Mustang from third. He will trot on in, and Millard North takes a 3-2 lead off of a nice at-bat from Hankins. An F8, but it goes as an RBI on the sac fly. And Millard North takes the lead over number 1 Lincoln East here in the top of the 4th inning, 3-2. So 2 outs, bases are clear for Millard North. Coming up to the plate, it's Ben Peters. Peters had a single in that second inning, but then eventually got picked off on the 1-3-6 putout off of the pickoff by Carter Mick. This one swung on, thrown to the right side. It'll be a foul ball. 1-1 strike to Ben Peters here in the top half of the 4th inning. Another foul to the right side. We'll do it at 1-2 strikes to Peters. Peters had a nice diving stop in the field at third base back in the 3rd inning to actually lead off the Spartans' half of the 3rd inning. Had a nice diving stop throughout Senstock. Swung on and missed. And Mick gets him to fan at the fastball up in the zone. However, the damage has been done for Millard North as they take a 3-2 lead in the top of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Peltz, Lessig, and Senstock when we return for the Spartans in the bottom half of the 4th inning here from Warner Park. This is State Baseball on 93.7 The Ticket.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Owned Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Owned Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Troy Peltz will lead things off for the Spartans here in the home half of the fourth inning. Don't forget, high school games, just 7 innings. Not the usual 9 for college and professional. 3-2, your score. Millard North with a 1-run advantage after putting up a 2 spot in the top half of the fourth inning. Troy Peltz, the left-handed hitter, will step in. He flew out to the shortstop and shallow left field in the first inning. First pitch from Obrecht is outside, ball 1. Obrecht from the windup fires in a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a whole lot of energy from the third base dugout occupied by the Spartans right now. Things are not going their way. 1 ball, 1 strike, and this one is in the dirt for ball 2, 2-1. Peltz starting in left field today, hitting .338 on the campaign. The 2-1 pitch swung on, nice hit but foul down the right field line, and so it evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom half of the fourth. Way outside, ball 3. Carson Obrecht so far, 3 innings, 2 runs allowed, 3 hits, and there's 1 Millard North there. And that's a strikeout for Troy Peltz as he goes down swinging for out number 1. So after Peltz goes down swinging, it'll bring up Owen Lessig. Lessig, the right fielder, lined out to the right fielder to end the first inning. This was a big play as well because of a diving stop from the right fielder for Millard North. It actually prevented Springer from scoring, which would have given the Spartans another run. So here comes Owen Lessig. First pitch from Obrecht. Swung on, nice hit, left field, and it's going to be a one-hopper into the glove of the left fielder. He wanted to play it. I think he wanted to try to dive. That left fielder, Jay Tweet, but what they call that up and down ball. It wasn't an up and down ball. It was a nice hard line drive off the bat of Lessig. He's hit 2 really hard hit balls today, but able to get a single this time. Those will eventually fall. And so that brings up Joey Senstock. Senstock, the shortstop. Grounded out to third baseman last time up. Senstock takes ball 1 in the dirt, 1-0. 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 3-2 Millard North with a 1-run advantage. Lessig extending his lead off of first base for the Spartans. Obrecht fires home, and this one's fouled off to the third base dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Quick pick over to first base, and back in time was Lessig. That's one thing the Spartans can do is they run the bases really well. I'm surprised we haven't seen them try to swipe a bag quite yet. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Obrecht fires home. It's a strike. It bounces off the glove of the catcher, Hankins, but bounces directly in front of him, so Lessig can advance. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2, Millard North with a 1-run lead here at Warner Park. Obrecht comes set. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Senstock. Swung on, skied high to center field. Drifting back is the center fielder, running, chasing it down, and hauling it in is Alex Burish out in center field. Well hit by Senstock, as that one just kept on flying. There's a slight breeze to the right center gap, and that's where Burish was able to haul that one in at. And so that brings up Mason Gaines. Mason, the starting center fielder, as Lessig still is at first base after having to retreat following the flyout. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Obrecht comes set, looks back to first base twice, fires home, off-speed pitch just upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes to Mason Gaines. Gaines, the 8-hitter in the Spartans lineup. Carter McPeak, the designated hitter, is on deck. Gaines, the left-handed hitter, hitting .300 on the season, 1 home run and 13 runs driven in. He grounded out to the first baseman for out number 2 back in the 2nd inning. So 3-2, Millard North, the 8 seed. Millard North Mustangs came into this one 11-17 on the season. The Spartans have lost just 1 game, and it was to Millard South back about midway through the season in a 4-3 contest. 1 ball, no strikes. Gaines takes ball 2, low and away, 2-0. The Spartans trying to defend their state title from last year. They were able to defeat Millard West out at Tally Anderson Field for the Class A crown last spring. 2-0 pitch, outside again. 3 balls, no strikes to Mason Gaines. You might say it for the folks back at home. Okay, that's fine. We'll get to the 9-hitter in the lineup. Well, Carter McPeak hits over .480 on the season. 3-0 pitch is a strike in there for strike 1, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Following this game, it's Millard South against Lincoln Southwest, a 4 seed versus the 5 seed. Obrecht, the 3-1 delivery. And it's a strike in there. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the backdoor breaker. Lessig started to dart for second base, but then held up and retreated to first. So now 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Obrecht has been incredible since surrendering those 2 runs in the first. The pitch just outside for a ball, and that's a walk to Mason Gaines. First walk of the day for either side. So now that brings up the designated hitter, Carter McPeak. McPeak, the 9-hole hitter, hitting from that right side today. As Obrecht in the stretch has runners now at first and second base that he has to have concern for. Obrecht peeks back at second twice. Now the first pitch is a breaker on the inside corner. Nice job by Obrecht for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 3-2 your score. Millard North leads Lincoln East. However, Lincoln East has a runner in scoring position and a runner in first base. Swung on. Fisted to the right side. Drifting back as the second baseman and hauling it in. Millard North gets out of the bottom of the 4th inning with no damage done. A nice job by Carson Obrecht to allow his defense to work there as he gets McPeak on the flyout to the second baseman for out number 3. All right, we turn our attention to the top of the 5th inning. When we come back, it's 8-9-1 in the Mustang lineup as they lead 3-2 over number 1 Lincoln East here from Warner Park. You're listening to State Baseball on 93.7 The Ticket.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park in Omaha. 3-2, the 8 seed Millard North leads number 1 seed Lincoln East. Jay Tweet will start us off as he swings, hits this one foul, first base side. Avasco has room and hauls it in for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out once again for the first batter of the inning, Jay Tweet. Brings up the 9 hitter, Evan Hansen, the starting right fielder. Hansen flew out to the right fielder for out number 1 back in the 3rd. Mick has kind of settled in here despite the 2 runs last inning. Fouled off, 0-1. Mick the southpaw against the lefty hitter Hansen. 0-1 pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1. Spartans 29-1 on the season, the 1-1 pitch. After an attempted bunt fouled off by Hansen, 1-2. He sees Berkey over there at third base playing 3 or 4 steps behind the third base bag. And to this point, though, hasn't been able to get a bunt down. Hansen, the 1-2 pitch, hammered out to center field. Can of corn for the center fielder. Mason Gaines hauls it in for out number 2. So out number 2 on the F8, top of the order here for the Mustangs as it's Alex Burrish. Burrish grounded out to the first baseman in his first at-bat to start this game and then struck out looking back in the 3rd. Lefty on lefty matchup. Burrish takes ball 1 in the dirt, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs here. Top of the 5th inning, swung on, fouled back. Evens it up at 1 apiece. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch just outside, 2-1. Been a relatively clean game. No crooked numbers. The 2-1 pitch upstairs for a ball, 3-1. 1 run in the first and 2 in the top of the 4th for Millard North. 2 runs in the first for Lincoln East. As the 3-1 pitch hammered out to right field. It's a line drive. Drifting over, making the catch for the Spartans is Owen Lessig to retire the side. And so the Mustangs go 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th inning. As Carter Mick has slowly started to settle in, we turn our attention to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the order for the Spartans. Worthley, Berkey, and Avasco when we come right back in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
It'll be Jeter Worthley, Kai Berkey, and AJ Avasco to start things off in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Millard North leads number 1 Lincoln East 3-2 here at Warner Park. First round of the state baseball tournament. We'll have Millard South and Lincoln Southwest following this one at about 11:30 a.m. or so. We're on pretty good time right now, if not a little ahead of schedule. So 3-2 your score. 1 error apiece for each side. Jeter Worthy steps into the box. He had a single back in the third inning, up the middle to start things in the third inning. Ultimately, nothing came out of that inning, though, for the Spartans. Carson Obrecht takes the mound once again. First pitch in there, just upstairs, I should say, for a ball, 1-0. They've started Worthy off with a breaker all 3 at-bats. And they throw him another one. That time it's in their first strike, 1-1. Jeter, really talented quarterback for Lincoln East. His older brother Jalen currently pitches for the Huskers. As this one's grounded to the shortstop, fielded cleanly, fires over to first, and in plenty of time to retire Worthy for out number 1. So 6-3 on the putout. And that brings up Kai Berkey. Berkey struck out looking back in the first, had a sacrifice bunt that advanced Worthy to third base back in the third. This time, nobody on base for the third baseman, Kai Berkey. Berkey hitting .380 on the year. Swings at the first pitch, skied high to right side, and a running catch unable to be made by the second baseman. They call that the Bermuda Triangle, essentially, where the first baseman, second baseman, and right fielder, and similar to on the left side, where all of them come together in foul territory to make a play. If you remember the College World Series a couple of years ago, actually probably 5 or 6 years ago by now, where Arkansas had the College World Series won, but they misplayed the ball in foul territory, and Oregon State ended up winning that game in extras and ended up winning the entire CWS. That was what happened right there. This one's skied, line drive to center field, and they'll let that one down for a hit. Kai Berkey gets a base knock. After, in that case, the fly ball was misplayed by the second baseman in foul territory. Kai Berkey gets on base with 1 out. AJ Vasco comes in, the left-handed hitter, struck out swinging for out number 2 back in inning number 3. Obrecht still on the mound. Runner at first base now is Kai Berkey. Vasco, with the infield shifted slightly to the right. Obrecht fires away, and it's a back foot breaker for a ball, 1-0. So one ball, no strikes with 1 out here in the home half of the 5th. Spartans trailing by 1, 3-2. Berkey tiptoeing at first, and the 1-0 pitch is low and away for a ball, 2-0. This is where Vasco can be extremely dangerous, right? Is if you get behind in the count to him, you don't want to just groove something down the heart of the plate. Vasco steps in and will have time, as it looks like Millard North is going to talk things over at the mound. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and come right back. 2-0 count on AJ Vasco when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Carson Obrecht stays out there after a brief visit at the mound. 2 balls, no strikes here to the 3-hole hitter in the Spartans lineup, AJ Vasco. Vasco, future Kansas State Wildcat, hitting from the left side, playing first base. The 2-0 pitch is just outside, 3-0. A little bit of action for both sides in that bullpen in center field. Obrecht, 3-0 pitch to Avasco, who may have the green light and doesn't need it as it's ball 4. So Avasco draws the walk, and Berkey will advance to second. Bringing up Garrett Springer. Springer had that 2 RBI double back in the first inning that ultimately scored Worthley and Avasco. Now here he is with runners at first and second and 1 out. Very similar situation to that first inning. Berkey's at second, Avasco's at first. Springer steps in. Here is Obrecht. Fires home. Backdoor breaking ball. Can't catch the corner, and it's ball 1. That is now 5 straight balls thrown by Carson Obrecht, who was in a groove up until this point, had put together 3 scoreless innings. Obrecht comes set, doesn't look towards the runner, and the breaking ball outside, 6 straight. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Millard North. The visitors on the scoreboard lead the Spartans. Obrecht comes set, looks back to second, fires home, and it's up and in. 3 balls, no strikes. Now the energy starting to heighten in the Spartans dugout down that third base side. 3 balls, no strikes. Obrecht needs to find something here. As that one is a strike. Springer threw the bat back to the dugout. He thought it was ball 4. And now we'll watch that if that ends up coming back to haunt Springer. A lot of umpires don't like that. Do not care for when you toss the bat early before they have a chance to make the call. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Obrecht. And that's in the dirt, ball 4. So now bases are loaded for Troy Peltz, the left fielder. Berkey's at third. Avasco is at second. And Springer now occupies first base. Eight of the last 9 pitches that Obrecht has thrown have been balls. And as I mentioned something back in that first inning, it's not the hits, as Obrecht was surrendering, a hit per inning or so, but they, for the most part, had weathered the hits, only allowing 2 runs to the high-powered offense of the Spartans. Number 44, Dele Odulate, is the courtesy runner for Springer at first base. First pitch swung on and hammered to the right side, but foul. Peltz, we've seen Peltz put a couple of really nice swings on some, but that one's a long strike, 0-1. Bases are loaded. Odulate at first, Avasco at second, and Berkey at third. Corners are in for the Mustangs. Backdoor breaking ball, fouled off. Over the press box, it's no balls, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 5 hits apiece. Troy Peltz, the left-handed hitter against the right-handed Obrecht. Watches one just off the plate. Ball 1. 1 out here in the home half of the 5th. Once again, corners are in. Peters just playing on the grass at third base. Berkey at third. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 as Peltz goes down looking for out number 2. Obrecht, after 8 of his last 9 pitches have been balls, he attacks Troy Peltz and gets him looking for out number 2. It brings up the right fielder, number 6, Owen Lessig. Lessig with a single back in the 4th inning, a line out to the right fielder back in the 1st to end the 1st inning. Here's the first pitch of the AB, and it's a strike in there. Off-speed pitch, 0-1. Bases are loaded with Odulate at first, Avasco at second, and Berkey at third. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Obrecht fires, breaker, and he gets another strike called. 0-2 as Lasig has watched 2 breaking balls float across the plate for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-2, Millard North. Obrecht comes set, fires home, fastball skied high, short center field. Drifting under it is the center fielder, and Obrecht with his right hand in the air gives a fist bump to the chest protector of his catcher as he walks off the Warner Park mound. And the Spartans leave them loaded. With 2 innings to play, we head to the top of the 6th inning. Millard North leads 3-2. And we'll be right back from Warner Park on 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park in Omaha. 3-2 your score. Millard North holding on, it feels like, for dear life. Lincoln East had started to grab the momentum after a base hit from Berkey and then back-to-back walks to the 3-hitter Avasco and the 4-hitter Springer. Obrecht is able to get Troy Peltz looking, and Owen Lessig flew out to the center fielder to retire the side as the Spartans left them loaded. That means it's Millard North's turn as Pfeiffer, the designated hitter, the 2-hole, comes up to the plate in the top half of the 6th inning with the Millard North Mustangs leading by 1. Carter Mick still on the mound for the Spartans. He's had a nice outing to this point. 7-0 on the year. Don't forget, Carter Mick, 7-0, a 1.15 earned run average coming in to today's matchup. He throws one outside for a ball, 1-0. Second pitch of the AB is upstairs for a ball, 2-0. So Millard South and Lincoln Southwest coming up in around 60 minutes or so as we just passed the 10:30 mark here at Warner Park. Foul ball off to the right side, 2-1. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Mick's pitch is low in the dirt for a ball, 3-1. And the 3-1 offering is way up and away. It goes back to the backstop for ball 4, and Pfeiffer leads things off in the top of the 6th with a walk. Chase Mockel comes up to the plate. He had an RBI double in his first at-bat, then grounded out to the shortstop back in the 4th inning. Coach Lanick comes out, and it looks like that may be it for Carter Mick as he hands the ball off to Michael Lanick. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return, but the Mustangs have ushered Carter Mick out. He finishes 5 innings of work, 3 runs allowed, 5 hits allowed, and there was 1 Spartan error while Mick was on the mound. We'll tell you about the new arm for the Spartans when we come back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
So Carter Mick's day is done as the Spartans will turn to Connor Johnson. Mick finishes with 5 innings of work, 5 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 3 runs as well. They turn to Connor Johnson, number 13 for the Spartans. Connor Johnson, a senior, 1-4 on the year out of the bullpen, but a 1.96 earned run average. He inherits a runner on first. No balls, no strikes to a new hitter. Back pick at first base in time as Springer to Vasco. They were able to get Pfeiffer, who had just extended his lead a little too much at first base. Springer jumped up, fired down to the first base bag, and Vasco was there. And off the back pick, there is now 1 out, as it's 2-3 on the pickoff. This one swung on, fouled back right in front of us, and thankfully finds an empty row. There's not a large amount of empty rows here. Each row almost has somebody in it. It's a really nice crowd. Great day for a baseball game. 1 ball, 1 strike, and it's upstairs 2-1 to McCall. So Pfeiffer gets back picked by Springer, but McCall now has a 3-1 count. (3-1) pitch, hit well to right field. Coming in as the right fielder, and Lessig's able to slide in and make the catch for out number 2. That'll go as a line out to the right fielder. Brings up Ripken Fleck. Fleck on the day, 1 for 2 with a strikeout swinging in the first, and then he also singled back in the fourth. Ended up scoring in part of that 2-run inning for the Millard North Mustangs. Connor Johnson ready to work. He's a right-handed hurler, swung on and fouled back on the first pitch of the AB from Fleck. Ripken Fleck, a junior, getting the start at shortstop today. Grounds it to the second baseman. Worley comes up with it, fires it over to Avasco, and that'll do it. Connor Johnson comes in and mitigates any potential damage, and we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Your score, Millard North 3, Lincoln East 2. As in the bottom half of the 6th inning, it will be Senstock, Gaines, and McPeak. 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Spartans in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Obrecht back onto the mound for the Mustangs when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park as we go into the bottom half of the sixth inning. Mustangs of Millard North, the 8th seed in the Class A title or tournament, rather, lead the number 1 seed, Lincoln East Spartans, 3-2. As we enter the home half of the sixth inning, Nebraska assistant Lance Harvell is here, checking out a couple of future Huskers. Carter Mick was one of them, the starting pitcher for the Spartans. It'll be Senstock, Gaines, and McPeak, as Senstock also planning to play baseball at Nebraska takes strike one, 0-1. So here in the home half of the sixth, it'll be 7, 8, and 9. If hypothetically they were to go 3 up, 3 down, that means that it'd be top of the order in the bottom of the seventh. The last chance for the Spartans in that bottom of the seventh. Only have 2 chances left. 2 cracks at Obrecht, who's been phenomenal today. 2 runs allowed so far for Carson Obrecht. The 0-2 pitch to Senstock is strike 3. It popped out of the glove of the catcher. He tags Senstock, and that'll be out number 1 as Senstock goes down looking for out number 1. And that brings up Mason Gaines. Gaines, the center fielder, had a walk his last time up. He grounded out to the first baseman back in the second inning. Here's Mason Gaines, the left-handed hitter, off of Obrecht. Fouls it off to the left side, 0-1. Obrecht fires home. It's low and in for a ball, 1-1. So the loser of this game will play the loser of our next game at 10 a.m. on Monday as Gaines flies this one to center field. Fairly routine and hauled in for out number 2. So the loser of this one plays at 10 a.m. on Monday. The winner plays at 4 p.m. on Monday. That's right. So 4 games coming your way on Monday. Stepping into the box with 2 outs and nobody on is Carter McPeak, the designated hitter. Obrecht in a groove. Fires away, backdoor, breaking ball is upstairs. Or I should just say breaking ball, rather. Is upstairs for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here in the home half of the sixth to McPeak. That time, that's a backdoor breaker, 1-1. 1-1 pitch, swung on, skied high, right field, shallow right field, second baseman ranging over, and he hauls it in. How about Obrecht? He has now gone 5 straight scoreless innings after allowing that 2 spot in the bottom of the first, and he is 3 outs away from allowing the Mustangs to advance and upset the number 1 Spartans. Back out on the mound for Lincoln East will be Connor Johnson. We return. It's the top of the 7th inning. Millard North leads 3-2 here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Millard North is 3 outs away from upsetting the Spartans, but first we turn to the top half of the 7th, where it is 5, 6, and 7 due up in the Millard North lineup. Machad up first to face Connor Johnson. Breaking ball upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Don't forget, regardless of the outcome here, Lincoln East defeated Millard North just a couple of weeks ago, 15-3. As it's ball 2 to Machad. This one drastically different. Johnson fires away, and that's a ball low and away. 3-0. Springer gives a look back to the home plate umpire as well. Connor Johnson, once again, 1.96 earned run average on the year, as it's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to start the top of the 7th inning to Machad. So now that brings up number 16, Marcus Hankins. The junior getting the start behind the dish today. He grounded out to the second baseman in the 2nd inning and then had a sacrifice fly to bring in the leading run, the 3rd run of the game for Millard North. So a brief stoppage in play as Bob Lavach wants to talk to the hitter. And it looks like Lincoln East is going to actually now talk to the pitcher, Connor Johnson, and Lavach will call the runner at first base over. So Millard North had to use used a timeout there to talk to the hitter. And now the Spartans, after that timeout had expired, walked out and said, okay, now you know what? We're going to take our own time and talk to Connor Johnson on the bump. 3-2 your score. Scoreline looks like this: 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error from the Millard North Mustangs. The Spartans, 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error as well. So 3-2 as Lincoln East now breaks the mound visit. And we're about ready to play ball. So Hankins will be up at the box with the runner on first base, who is Machad. Machad stole second base and then advanced to third on the error from Springer that eventually brought in the tying run. So Machad's at first rather. And it's a hit by pitch as Hankins gets drilled on the left arm. And so now, after all that time, Connor Johnson hits him. Brings up Ben Peters with a runner on second, which is Machad, and Hankins, after the hit by pitch, is at first. 3-2. This feels like a prime bunting opportunity for Ben Peters, who is the 7 hitter in the lineup. If he can get this down the third base line, potentially draw that third baseman in, it's going to be a courtesy runner at first base. But back to the scenario, the hypothetical scenario, if he can get a bunt down the third base line, or essentially, I suppose, and down the first base line. The thing about the third base line is it brings the third baseman in, which vacates the third base bag, allowing the runner from second, in this case Machad, to go over there where there's unoccupied real estate. And we have a time at the plate as Connor Johnson took too long. He's had 5 pitches this inning, Connor Johnson, and he's thrown 5 balls. On a 4-pitch walk to start the inning to Machad, and then a hit by pitch to Hankins. Now they'll bring a Vasco in. A Vasco playing in front of the cut down the first base side. Johnson Fires away, ball one, 1-0. And we're going to have our second mound visit of the inning as Connor Johnson, that'll do it. So Michael Lanik has seen 6 pitches this inning from Connor Johnson and said, I've seen enough. So Connor Johnson's day is done. His final stat line, we'll tell you in just a moment when we come back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
So Connor Johnson's day is done after just 1 inning of work. No strikeouts, 2 walks, no hits allowed, and to this point, no runs allowed, but he is responsible for the runners on first and second. Now, Michael Lanik's going to turn to Paul Shortridge. Shortridge, 7-0 on the year, 1.51 earned run average. The lefty, Paul Shortridge. So, somewhat of a potentially surprising move, as maybe you would have felt like Shortridge, and I guess supposedly, I suppose that with 1 inning of work, Paul Shortridge would be able to pitch on Monday if they lose or win, the Spartans, that is, because no matter what, they will play on Monday in the double elimination tournament. So Johnson will be responsible, as I mentioned, for runners on first and second. It'll be Machad at second after a walk, and then he advanced to second on the hit by pitch with Hankins. At the plate, it's Peters, Ben Peters. 1 ball, no strikes. We'll see if Ben Peters squared the bunt. Avasco is about 4 steps ahead of the cut on the first base bag. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see potentially a drag bunt down the third base line here from Peters. The lefty arm of Shortridge. And he pulls the bunt back, takes ball 2. Then again, don't have to bunt if you're not throwing them strikes. So 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out here in the top half of the 7th inning. Millard North trying to extend on their 1-run advantage. 3-2, they lead over the number 1 seed, 29-1 overall, Lincoln East Spartans. Squaring to bunt once again. He gets the bunt down. It's right down that third base line. Their only play is to first, and a safe. It bounces away from Worthley, and a run will score for Millard North as they take a 4-2 lead. Put in the defense in a situation to where they were uncomfortable. Springer tried to hop up. His only play was to first. Worthley was over there in time to cover, but the throw took Worthley across the baseline. And it bounced off his glove, and Machad scored. So that would go down as an error, and he scores. So it is now 4-2 with a runner on third, as well as first for Millard North. Infield is in for Lincoln East. Nobody out here in the top half of the 7th inning. The pitch as the runner goes to second. There will not be a throw. And so now runners at second and third after the first pitch is in there for a strike to Jay Tweet, the starting left fielder. And Millard North is a base hit away from really breaking this one open. Still nobody out here in the top half of the 7th inning. They lead now 4-2. That run did go on Connor Johnson. Shortridge comes set, fires. Swung on and missed. Good block behind the plate by Springer as it's 0-2. So Hankins is at third, Peters at second. No balls, 2 strikes, Shortridge comes set, looking back to third, fires, and it's barely fouled off. One thing to note here, and I say base hit away from really making it a 6-2 game, is since the infield is in, Ben Peters at second base is almost 35 feet away from second base by the time Shortridge comes set. So you're cutting down almost half of the base path there because of your infield being in. As that pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, and that is strike 3 as Shortridge gets Tweet to go down looking for out number 1 in the top of the 7th. Brings up number 11, Evan Hansen, the right fielder. Hansen flew out to the right fielder and flew out to the center fielder in his 2 trips to the plate today. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Shortridge with 1 out and runners on second and third fires home. And squaring to bunt for a moment was Hansen, but pulls it back, takes ball 1, 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here in the visiting half of the 7th inning. Spartans will get 1 more crack at it. Hansen with a 1-0 count, takes ball 2, low and away, 2-0. The Mustangs have somebody working in the bullpen. However, if you're head coach Bob Lavach, you're saying Carson Obrecht has given me 5 scoreless innings, 5 straight scoreless innings after surrendering just those 2 runs in that first inning. And it's ball 3 to Hansen. 3 balls, no strikes to Evan Hansen. Runners at second and third. 1 out. Shortridge comes set, fires home, and it's too high, ball 4. So now the bases are juiced once again for Millard North as they bring up the top of the order. Alex Burish. Burish 0 for 3 today. Grounded out to the first baseman, struck out looking, and flew out to the right fielder. And we're going to have a stoppage in play as Springer will go talk to Shortridge. You look at once again, just what's happened this inning. And frankly, it's nothing that Millard North has done. It's what Lincoln East has allowed them to do. They started with a 4-pitch walk that got a free guy on base. Then Connor Johnson hit the next guy that allowed 2 guys to reach. Then it was just a simple bunt that was an errant throw, unable to be held on to at first base. Once again, just trying to sacrifice the at-bat. That allowed Peters to stay on base where he now stands at third. Then it was a strikeout, but now a 4-pitch walk. So a lot of what Lincoln East is allowing them to get away with as that first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 to Burish, the leadoff guy. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top half of the 7th inning. Bases are loaded for Millard North. Corners are in. Middle infielders at double play depth. This pitch swung on and missed. First strike. Oh, 0-2. This will be a big one for Paul Shortridge. If he can get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed. Burish The hitter on the left-handed batter's box, lefty-lefty matchup, the 0-2 pitch. Skied, it's not going to be deep enough. It'll be just past the infield, and Worthley collects it for out number 2. So now Paul Shortridge and the Spartans are just 1 out away from getting out of this relatively unscathed. So just so far, just 1 run allowed. Brings up Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer doubled back in the first, struck out in the third, and walked in the 6th. He eventually got back-picked by Springer to Avasco back in the 6th inning. He steps in. Right-handed hitter against the left-handed arm of Paul Shortridge for Lincoln East. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, 4-2 Millard North. Shortridge delivers, swung on, skied high, shallow center field, and hauled in by Mason Gaines. And so a nice job by Paul Shortridge to mitigate the damage as just 1 run is allowed. Millard North leaves them loaded, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be the top of the order for Lincoln East when we return. It's Worthley, Berkey, and Avasco as the Spartans need 2 to keep playing. They can walk it off if they get 3 or more here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. We'll find out as Obrecht takes the mound for his 7th inning of work for the Mustangs when we return from Warner Park in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All righty, here we go. Bottom of the 7th inning. Worthley is the first Spartan hitter to the plate, and Obrecht gets one across the zone for a strike. 0-1. Millard North 11-17 on the season. Lincoln East 29-1, 3 outs away as this one's fouled back, and Worthley is quickly in the hole. 0-2. Worthley on the day, 2 for 3 rather. Singled back in the first, singled in the third, and then grounded out in the 5th. 0-2 pitch is low in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. One-two delivery, high, inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the delivery from Obrecht. Swung on, fouled back, and watch out as it's coming back down. Nice little one-handed snag off the bounce by a mom in the crowd. 2 balls, 2 strikes as Worthley steps in. Obrecht from the windup here in the bottom of the 7th with nobody out. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit hard to right field, and that's going to be down for a hit. And Worthley leads us off with a single. So here we go as it'll now be the 2-hitter in the Spartans lineup, Kai Berkey. And this could be where we see Worthley put some wheels in motion here on the base paths. And before we throw to Kai Berkey, we're going to have a moment at the mound. And so current situation, 4-2. Millard North with a 2-run lead. Each team has 6 hits apiece. Spartans with 2 errors, Millard North just with 1. But the part that really matters the most is the runs, and Mustangs have 4, Spartans have 2. Looks like we're going to make a pitching change. Obrecht is going to come out rather. His day is done. It looks like number 4, Cale Herron, will go out to the outfield. And I believe it looked like they called on the right fielder, and if they did, that is Hansen. Obrecht gets high fives from his team on his way back to the dugout. We'll tell you about the new pitcher and substitutions when we return in a few minutes on 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
All right, so tensions were flaring during the timeout. Jeter Worthley got into it with a couple of the Millard North infielders, had to be separated. Worthley back out at first base now. Nobody out. The new pitcher, Evan Hansen, as Obrecht's day is done. Hansen, the right-handed thrower, throws ball 1 in the dirt, 1-0 to Kai Berkey. So on the day, as Obrecht will be responsible for Worthley at first, goes 6 strong innings, 6 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And to this point, just 2 earned runs. But like I said, Worthley, as now Hansen hits Kai Berkey. So here we go. As on a hit by pitch, there are runners now at first and second for Lincoln East in their home half of the 7th inning. So Worthley advances to second on the hit by pitch. Berkey, and now here is A.J. Avosco. 8 home runs on the year for Avosco, 52 runs driven in for the first baseman. Rocca number 7 hits from the left side. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Hansen looks back to Worthley at second, fires home, swung on and fouled back. 0-1. 4-2 your score. Millard North trying to hold on to a lead here. As Hansen holding the ball down by his right knee, comes set from the stretch, fires home, swung on, it's grounded down the right side, but foul. Avosco quickly in the hole, 0-2 here to Evan Hansen. No balls, 2 strikes. That insurance run, that 4th run in the top of the 7th looks all quite a bit bigger now here for Millard North. The 0-2 pitch to Avasco, and it's in the dirt. The runners advance. Avasco's saying, I got hit. Avasco's heated with the umpire right now. Now Lanik comes up and talks to him, and the home plate umpire is going to have a conversation with a couple of the infield umpires. Both runners acted like Avasco had gotten hit because they kind of jogged to their relative base or their respective bases. The catcher didn't even try to make a play on the guys that stole second and third. And so from my vantage point, it looked like Avasco got hit. But ultimately enough, Avasco is going to stay in. They're going to say no hit by pitch. The runners will advance from second and third, or to second and third. Now, Coach Bob Lavach is having a conversation with the home plate umpire saying, how are the runners able to go? And now Lanik is beside himself. And now he comes in to have a conversation with the home plate umpire. So this crew has struggled today with a couple of decisions. Lavach is saying that you guys called time immediately after the pitch. So how are runners able to advance? Now the umpires are having the conversation. The home plate umpire directed the runner at second to go back to third and the runner at third to go back to second. They're going to bring in 3 umpires to talk things over here. If it wasn't a hit by pitch, then essentially they could have counted as a stolen base. And if it was a hit by pitch, which they already decided that it wasn't, then they should be fine. And ultimately enough, they're going to stay at second and third. I think that's the right call. I was somewhat surprised. Now Millard North and Coach Lavach is coming out to get a clarification from the home plate umpire. Millard North is having their palms up going, how in the world? Lavach can't believe it. He's saying that the catcher would have thrown down to third base. Lavach is still letting the umpire hear it. Now the catcher's having a conversation with the home plate umpire. The runner at second is now jogging over to Coach Lanik in the third base box. A little bit of funk happening in the bottom half of the 7th. Okay, let's set the stage. Runners at second and third. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A.J. Avasco, the third hitter in the Spartans lineup, at the plate. Evan Hansen on the mound. The tying run in the bottom half of the 7th inning is at second base. Hansen comes set, fires home, fouled back. We'll do it again at 1 and 2. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. The tying run is at second base. Hansen fires sky high, deep left field. It might be deep enough for Worthley to score. In the left field, they'll cut it to 3. And so the third run of the game scores for Lincoln East. I should have said they cut to the third base bag, rather, so that the runner at second would not be able to advance to third on the tag. But the Spartans draw within 1 on the sacrifice fly from A.J. Avasco for out number 1. So Worthley ends up scoring. Berkey is the guy at second base now, with 1 out in the game. Now Springer up to bat. They're going to protest and see if Worthley left early. He did not. And so Hansen will be able to go back onto the mound. Millard North can't believe it. They felt like Jeter Worthley left early, but the home plate umpire signals that he was safe. So Hansen will trot back up to the bump. Kai Berkey occupying second base. Garrett Springer, the senior, hitting .447, has a 2 RBI double today. Step in. The off-speed pitch is inside for a ball, 1-0. Springer, 1 for 2. He drew a walk back in the 5th inning, flew out to the center fielder in the 3rd, but then, as I mentioned, had that 2 RBI double in the 1st. The pitch swung on, hit up the middle of the field. Berkey is going to round third. He will try to score. The throw in from center field will not be in time, and we have a tie ball game as the Spartans score 2 in the bottom of the 7th, and they tie it up at 4 on an RBI single from Garrett Springer. So Garrett Springer comes in clutch again as he is now responsible of 3 of the 4 Spartans runs with runs batted in today. Springer on the year now has 43 runs driven in. Courtesy runner at first base will be Dele Odulate. The bunt by Troy Peltz, right back to the pitcher, fielded cleanly. The throw to first is in time for the out, but now Odulate is at second base with 2 outs. That'll go down as a sacrifice bunt off the bat of Troy Peltz. For out number 2. Brings up the right fielder, Owen Lessig. Lessig on the day, lined out to the right fielder in the first inning. Had a really nice piece on that one. Ended up hitting a single in the 4th and flew out to the center fielder in the 5th. The pitch, and it hits Lessig. It hits Lessig. Odulate will have to go back to second base as he tried to advance to third, but Lessig gets hit, which now that run doesn't really matter a whole lot. If you are Millard North, you have to be smart here in that you can step on second base if a ground ball goes to the middle infield instead of making a throw all the way across the diamond. And before Joey Senstock comes up to the plate, we're going to have a conversation at the mound. Let's go ahead and step aside. We'll be back in 30 seconds right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
All righty. Runners on first and second base for the Spartans. 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They've already put up 2 runs in this half inning to tie this game at 4 apiece. It's 4-4 between Millard North and Lincoln East. Odulate is at second. He is the winning run. Stepping in, the future Husker, Joey Senstock from the right-handed batter's box. Hansen pitches, short ground ball in front of the mound. The throw to first, and we are going to extras as they retire Joey Senstock on 1 pitch. And we are going to the top of the 8th. Millard North surrenders 2, but we are tied as we head to the top of the 8th inning. In the top of the 8th inning, it will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, the heart of the order for the Mustangs, McCall, Fleck, and Machad, when we return from Warner Park on 93.7 The Ticket.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Paul Shortridge heads on back out there for the Lincoln East Spartans in front of a really nice crowd. We're going to extra innings. How about this, folks, for the game to kick us off in the state tournament? We'll be a little bit behind schedule here for our next game. That is the Millard South Patriots and the Lincoln Southwest Silverhawks. but it is 4-4. Paul Shortridge on the mound. It's McCall up first, and the first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1, and Paul Shortridge is right up on the bump, ready to go once again. Here he fires home, and it's just outside for a ball, 1-1. Chase McCall, the middle infielder for Millard North, takes ball 2 up and in. McCall, RBI double in the first inning, then grounded out to the shortstop in the fourth and flew out to the right fielder in the sixth. He checks his swing. He does go around, so 2 balls, 2 strikes on a pitch in the dirt. Spartans are out hitting the Mustangs now, 7-6. The 2-2 pitch is up and away, 3-2. Big pitch coming up for McCall, but also for Millard North, as if they can get the leadoff hitter on, that's huge. And swung on and missed. Paul Shortridge elevates a fastball, and McCall fans through it for the swinging strikeout and out number 1. So the Spartans tied this one up in the bottom of the 7th. This one hit shallow left field and hauled in by the left fielder for out number 2 quickly here in the top of the 8th. So now Zanzan Machad comes up to the plate. He walked last time up in the top half of the 7th. Ended up being the 4th run of the game for Millard North. He takes strike 1 on the inside part of the plate, 0-1. Four to 4. Your score. Swung on and missed, 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Paul Shortridge, the left-handed pitcher, fires home, and it's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch from Shortridge. In the dirt again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fouled back, and we'll do it again. So once again for Lincoln East Spartans, Carter Mick, Connor Johnson, and now Paul Shortridge have all seen time on the mound. The 2-2 pitch. High fly ball. Left field. And that is out number 3. And Lincoln East will go to the bottom of the 7th with a chance to win this in the bottom half of the 8th, as they are tied with Millard North 4-4 up for Lincoln East in the home half of the 8th inning. It'll be Gaines, McPeak, and the top of the order, Jeter Worthley for the Lincoln East Spartans when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Evan Hansen trots back out there for Millard North. Hansen came in, struggled a little bit, hit a batter, got a ground out, but for the most part, was able to do his job. Evan Hansen, the right-handed pitcher. Just the second pitcher of the day for Millard North. They had Carson Obrecht go 6 innings, allowed 6 hits and just 2 runs, and then, now it's 3 runs after Worthley came around to score. As Obrecht was responsible for him, Hansen has allowed just 1 in his 1 inning of work as well. So due up for the Spartans will be Mason Gaines, the center fielder. Mason is 0 for 2. Did walk back in the 4th inning, though. Grounded out in the 2nd and flew out in the 6th. Gaines, the left-handed hitter. Right-handed pitcher, Hansen. Ball 1 outside. Second pitch of the inning is drilled left side, but foul. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mason Gaines, the center fielder. Hansen fires home, and it's outside for a ball, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. As Hansen now steps off the rubber and resets. Hansen's 2-1 pitch swung on and missed by Mason Gaines. First strike 2. Back foot breaking ball there kind of tied Gaines up. So now 2-2 pitch from Hansen. Tried the same spot with the same type of pitch, and Gaines didn't fall for it that time. He moves the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Hansen's pitch, and that's ball 4 as he tried a breaker in the dirt again. And Gaines, nice job being disciplined there as he draws the leadoff walk. That brings up Carter McPeak. Designated hitter today, hitting .484. He is 0 for 3. He's flown out to the second baseman twice and struck out looking as well in his first at-bat. Looks like we may have a brief conversation on the mound. And we're going to have a pitching change. So we'll step aside, come back in just a few minutes. We'll see if Hansen moves back out to right field or comes into the dugout. It looks like he may just come into the dugout, and they'll keep Herron out in right field. But nonetheless, we'll tell you about the new arm when we return in just a few short moments right after this from Warner Park in the bottom of the 8th inning here on 93.7 The Ticket.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
So after the leadoff walk, the Mustangs elect to go to Major Mosser. Number 20, Major Mosser, a sophomore, 1-0 on the year, 2.42 earned run average. Mason Gaines occupies first as McPeak tries to get down the bunt, unable to do so in fair territory. It'll be 0-1. So, per usual, Hansen will be responsible for Mason Gaines at first base, but the stat line is pretty much closed on Hansen. 1 inning pitch, no strikeouts, 1 hit allowed, 3 walks, and 1 earned run. So it'll be McPeak here, and then the top of the order. Mosser comes set with Gaines on first base. Fires away, the bunt, back to the screen. 0-2. If McPeak can't get the bunt down here, that'll be the second time that a Spartans player has not been able to get a bunt down. Back in the first inning, Kai Berkey had 2 chances at it and then watched strike 3. Here, McPeak has had now 2 chances at it and is down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Gaines takes a 2-step lead off of first base. Mosser pitching out of the stretch, comes set while looking over at Gaines. Now picks over to Gaines, and Mason is back in time. Gets his white jersey a little dirty as well. No balls, 2 strikes to the Spartans 9-hitter. Mosser fires. Breaking ball is going to be skied into right field and caught by the right fielder. No tag on the play. They did move Evan Hansen back out to right field. And so instead of Cale Heron out there, Evan Hansen is back out into right field where he started today's game. After the flyout, that turns the Spartans lineup over to Jeter Worthley. Worthley singled last time, got the bottom of the 7th rally going for the Lincoln East squad. Mosser picks over to Gaines. Back in time is number 11 in white, Mason Gaines. The smell of popcorn starting to fill the air here at Warner Park. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another pickoff. Unable to get anything going for Millard North. Mosser comes set, looks 3 times, fires home. Breaking ball, good body in the dirt there by the catcher Hankins. Kept Mason Gaines in check at first base. 1 ball, no strikes to Jeter Worthley, the future Michigan baseballer. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Mosser comes set, looks twice, fires home, and on the outside corner, that's a strike. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're all knotted up 4-4 here in extras. Bottom of the 8th inning. Third baseman playing on the cut of the grass. Mosser picks over to first. Gaines back in time, keeping him in check there. Gaines doesn't have that big of a lead, but Mosser seems relatively concerned with him. 4-4 your score. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here as Worthley gets ready. Bends the knees. Mosser fires. Breaking ball bounces off to the side of Hankins. And those are tough ones to block if you're Hankins behind the dish. But now, because of that wild pitch, Gaines advances to second. And with 1 out, the Spartans have a runner in scoring position. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The winning run in the form of Mason Gaines leads off a second base. Jeter Worthley calls time at the plate, and they may intentionally walk Jeter Worthley. They will. So they're going to walk Jeter Worthley to get to Kai Berkey. So that is a walk, an intentional walk at that. Runners at first and second now. Worthley his run doesn't necessarily matter. It's the double play opportunity and force out at third base now allowed for Kai Berkey. One out here in the 7th inning. More fans have started to pile in, a lot of red and navy blue in the stands for the representatives of Millard South High School. Millard South will occupy the third base dugout as they are the 4 seed, while Lincoln Southwest stakes their claim in the first base dugout as the 5 seed. That one was scheduled to start at 11:30. I don't think we're going to get close to that here. Bottom of the 8th, new batter, Kai Berkey. First pitch is a strike off of the arm of Major Mosser, and so that is 0-1 to Kai Berkey. One out here in the bottom of the 8th. We have a moment, a time, and it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner. Now, this is interesting because Odulate is going to be the pinch runner. Dele Odulate. He'll come in for Mason Gaines, but he is also the courtesy runner. He is the courtesy runner, so he will be in. They will have to use a pinch runner substitution for Odulate. So Worthley at first, Odulate at second. They feel like they can score on a base hit if it gets to the outfield. Kai Berkey down 0-1 in the count. Mosser on the mound, fires away. This one hit well to left field. Left fielder drifting back. It's a line drive, but caught by the left fielder for out number 2. A good piece by Kai Berkey, but right at the left fielder for out number 2. And here we go, folks. AJ Avasco comes up to the plate. Avasco on the day singled back in the first, or excuse me, rather reached on an error back in the first, struck out swinging in the third, walked in the 5th, and had that sacrifice fly to left field to bring in Jeter Worthley just last inning in the bottom of the 7th. Major Mosser on the mound, the sophomore, facing off against the future Kansas State Wildcat, AJ Avasco. Avasco steps in from in the left-handed batter's box. Major Mosser is a right-handed hurler. Odulate at second, Jeter Worthley at first. The first pitch on the way, back picked, a back pick to second base, and it's unable to be grabbed by the shortstop, but Odulate barely gets back. If that was fielded cleanly, Odulate was going to be the 3rd out of the inning. But fortunately enough for Lincoln East, the shortstop for Millard North, Ripken Fleck, unable to pick that one out of the dirt. And so we'll do it again at 1 ball, no strikes. Mosser comes set, looking back at Odulate, fires home, and that one's a backdoor breaking ball for a strike. It caught the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to AJ Avasco. Mosser, the 1-1 pitch. Low and away for a ball. 2-1. Standing in the on-deck circle, it doesn't get much easier for Millard North if they were to give Avasco a free pass. Garrett Springer. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. Bouncer in the dirt. Good block behind the plate by Hankins. 3 balls, 1 strike to AJ Avasco. Odulate at second, Jeter Worthley at first. They intentionally walked Jeter Worthley before Kai Berkey's at bat. So With runners on first and second, a ground ball in the infield, they can touch either bag, third, second, or first, and it'll be a force out. 3 balls, 1 strike, hitters count to A.J. Avasco. Mosser comes set, staring at Odulate at second base. The pitch swung on in the dirt and missed. Avasco swings at what would have been ball 4, and instead it's a 3-2 count, 2 outs. Runners will be off with the pitch. Odulate, who's shown some questionable base running at times, needs to make sure that Mosser goes home. At second base, Mosser, 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, to Avasco, swung on, barely fouled back, and we'll do it again at 3-2. Mosser on the mound to Avasco. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. The pitch in the dirt, and it hit Avasco. And so that will load the bases for Garrett Springer, a man that's been responsible for 3 of the 4 runs driven in. Garrett Springer had a 2 RBI double in the first. He just had an RBI single to tie the game in the 7th. And here he comes with the winning run just 90 feet away in the form of Dele Odulate at third base. So Garrett Springer, it's a righty-on-righty matchup. It's 4-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Mosser, his pitch, upstairs, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs. The pitch from Mosser, swung on, fouled off to the right side, 1-1. Lincoln East was down after a 2 spot in the 4th inning, 3-2, and then Millard North was able to tack on another run in the top of the 7th to lead 4-2, and Lincoln East grabbed 2 runs to tie it in the bottom half of the 7th. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Springer. A breaking ball upstairs, and a lot of that falls on the catcher. He dropped down to a knee. He got crossed up. That pitch was right on the corner, but because Hankins, the man behind the plate, dropped down to a knee, it gave the visual representation that it was a much lower pitch than it actually was. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It's a wild pitch. It gets to the backstop. Odulate will score, and the Spartans win it. In the bottom of the 8th, Mosser throws a wild pitch to the backstop. Odulate reads it perfectly, and he slides headfirst into home plate, and the Spartans score 3 runs in the 7th and 8th innings combined to win it 5-4. And the defending champs start 1-0 in the Class A state tournament. That one to kick off the state tournament was everything we could have asked for as we go to extra innings. And in the bottom of the 8th, the Spartans win on a walk-off wild pitch. So now the Spartans will advance to Monday afternoon's game against the winner of our next contest between Millard South and Lincoln Southwest. The loser, which in this case the Millard North Mustangs, will face off against the loser of our game to come between Millard South and Lincoln Southwest right here on Monday morning at 10 a.m. So that'll do it once again. Recapping this one, an incredible performance by the Millard North starter, Carson Obrecht. Comes into this one 3-3 on the year with a 3.57 earned run average. And he goes 6 strong innings, allows 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and allowed 3 earned runs. However, the bullpen guys, Evan Hansen struggled. 1 inning pitch, no strikeouts, 1 run allowed on 1 hit and 3 walks. Major Mosser then comes in and surrenders on the wild pitch and ends up allowing Odulate to score from third base on the walk-off wild pitch. For Lincoln East, the man of the day, Garrett Springer. How about the cleanup hitter and the catcher for the Spartans? Garrett goes 2 for 3 with a 2 RBI double in the first. He flew out to center field in the third. He walked in the fifth, but then he had that game-tying RBI single in the bottom half of the seventh inning that allowed us to play extra innings today. Otherwise, Jeter Worthley, he has a nice day. He has 2 runs scored for him. A.J. Avasco struggled to a certain extent, had a sacrifice fly in the seventh, but other than that, struck out, reached on an error, and had 2 walks in today's contest. So the Spartans, the number 1 seed, they stay alive, as although it's a double elimination tournament, you're in a much better spot if you start out 1-0, and now the Spartans do after they come back. They were trailing 4-2 in entering the bottom of the 7th inning, and they score 2 in the bottom half of the 7th. They hold Millard North scoreless in the top half of the 8th, and they score on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 8th to win today's game. So they will advance to play the winner of our next game, Millard South and Lincoln Southwest, which, yes, we are a little bit behind schedule as both teams are on the field now warming up. Lincoln Southwest will occupy the first base dugout, and Millard South, the 4 seed, will take care of the home dugout, the third base dugout here at Warner Park. It's been a beautiful day for baseball. Lincoln East gets the 5-4 victory over the 8 seed Millard North Mustangs, and they will wait to see who they play on Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. But that'll do it for me for now. Thanks to Rico and Bach and Austin back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios for pushing all the buttons and making sure you guys can get this presentation of the Class A State Baseball Tournament from Warner Park right here on 93.7 The Ticket. We will talk to you in a few short moments with pregame for Millard South and Lincoln Southwest here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. With Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit Empire